Hi there. Unfortunately, very often animals get into terrible situations, but who other than humans should help them? Today, we will show you 5 amazing cases of animal rescues that will restore your faith in humanity. When natural cataclysms occur, a very large number of animals, including domestic ones, suffer. During the hurricane in Louisiana, rescuers spotted a dog who was in a helpless situation. He was left on a leash by the house, where he stayed in the water for several days. Only his head could be seen above the water. The water rose, and if a little more water had come down, the dog would have drowned. The homeowner was forced to urgently evacuate, but for some reason, they did not think about the life of their pet, tying him to a chain and leaving him there. During the violent storm, he ran under the house and got confused. Rescuers made a rope and tied them to the dog's neck. One of the men began to cut the leather collar to which the chain was fastened, but the dog began snapping. Cutting the collar was a difficult task. Each attempt to make a cut was accompanied by growling, snapping, and a constant whine. But finally, the collar was removed. The dog managed to move for the first time in a few days. The frightened animal did not want to go anywhere. He immediately turned for home. But in 30 to 40 minutes after the rescue, the water rose to such a level the dog would have drowned. But thankfully, he was dragged to safety. Cases when deer or dogs appear on ice or under it occur quite often, but in Oklahoma, something extraordinary happened. This white-tailed deer had spent 6 hours in the middle of a frozen lake. Everyone understood that his time was running out. It was evening, and if the deer were to be left, it's a death sentence that would have been signed. Every attempt to stand up was unsuccessful. The deer was 22 meters from the nearest shore. Because of the frailness of the ice, it's far too dangerous to walk up to the deer. Rescuers tried to reach him using ropes and reach out with a fire escape. All possible options have been tried, and time had about run out. Rescuers even thought to put the unfortunate animal to sleep on the spot so the deer did not have to suffer, but they wanted to try again to save the life of this poor deer. It was thought up to use a helicopter to scare the deer and make it rise to its feet to leave the ice. As the helicopter approached, the pilot noticed a wound on the deer's back. The helicopter flew so close that the pilot could see the deer's wool move. The deer panicked, tried to get up, but fell again. On smooth ice, the animal was practically helpless as the hooves slid all over the place. Rescuers noticed that while the animal was trying to get up, the wind from the helicopter's propellers at a speed of 240 kilometers per hour pushed the deer across the ice. The joyfulness was soon replaced by discouragement. The deer's front legs fell through the ice again. Everyone understood that now he was facing imminent death, but the deer did not give up. By some miracle, he managed to keep his head above the water, and then he could get his front feet out on the ice. It was decided to try to blow the deer across the ice from that place and thus deliver it to the shore. In order to get a strong flow of air, the helicopter first accelerated and then abruptly hit the brakes. Everything started to pan out. A few minutes later, the deer was on the shore. The rescuers were able to get close to him in order to assess the state of the deer's injuries. The wound was not dangerous. The animal was able to stand on its feet and fled into the forest. This moment was a really happy one. The story when a cat is stuck in a tree may seem trivial, but do not rush to rewind or turn off this video. This story begins with a cat not returning from a walk. After a long search, the cat was found in a tree at a very great height where it seems a dog may have drove it to. He sat there without food and water for 7 days. The claws of cats are arranged so that climbing a tree is not a problem for them, but it's really difficult or even sometimes impossible to get to them. The frightened owner did not know how long her cat could last up there. When she called to him, she heard only a faint audible meow because the animal was weakened without food. On the 8th day, employees from a local TV channel heard about this story and convinced the tree trimming specialist to help, but the plan failed. As soon as a person began to climb, the cat began to move to the edge of the branches And the most terrible thing happened. The cat fell. When the owner saw this fall, she was sure that her cat would not survive. Everyone was sure this was the end. But cats have a so-called riding reflex. Tiny hairs in their ears suggest that they are turned upside down. And when this internal alarm sounded, the cat immediately turns its head to the correct position. The body follows the head, after which the cat spreads out in the air. This parachute-like effect slows the fall, reducing the speed to about half. The cat flew correctly, but then hit another branch, due to which it turned over 180 degrees again and was falling with its back down. Now, he had less than a second to take the right position, but time was not enough to turn its hind legs around. He fell to the ground on his front paws and escaped before anyone could approach him. The cat was under a car, but it was intact. The veterinarian said that he will be all right, but he was a little scared. No fractures or symptoms of internal damage. After eating, drinking, and bathing, the cat finally came to himself. In New Mexico, there was an unimaginable case. A bear emerged from the forest and ran around the city in search for her cub, who had ran away. By the way, the cub was caught the day before by the staff of the Wildlife Service and was safe. Being in a nervous and frightened state, American black bears climb trees, but the poor bear somehow climbed onto a high-voltage pole with a voltage of 7,000 volts. It was decided to shoot the bear with a tranquilizer, as the specialists considered that it poses a threat to people living nearby. An hour after the shot, it began to swing, and then something terrible happened. With her right paw, she touched the wires. She was thrown back from the pole, and she fell to the ground from a height of 10 meters. She was wounded, but alive. Her wool played a big role as an insulating material that deflected most of the deadly current. Fortunately, there was not enough time for electricity to pass through her body. After several weeks of treatment, she recovered. She was given her baby back, and they were very happy to see each other. And after a while, the bear and her cub were released to freedom. Another incredible incident occurred in India. Foresters rescued a huge royal cobra who had climbed into one of the local sediments in search of water. They saved the snake not only from the inhabitants, as well as the inhabitants from it, but also from thirst. The game wardens literally drank from the bottle of a deadly animal. A large-scale drought has been going on throughout India for more than a month. Weather conditions and lack of water make forest animals look for sources of drinking, and that means people. So, for example, it happened with a 3-meter-long royal cobra, which was discovered on the outskirts of the city Karwar. When the residents saw it, they called a team of foresters. The foresters not only saved the inhabitants by removing the snake from the city, but also helped the snake as well. The reptile had crawled to the people because of thirst, so the foresters gave the snake a drink from a bottle, just like you would a child. One of them gave the cobra a drink from the bottle, while the other held it by the tail, just in case it rushed into attack. But this did not happen, and the snake did not show any aggression, but simply drank water from the bottle offered to it. Zoologists measured the length of the cobra that was caught, 3.65 meters. Then they drove it to the forest and released it to freedom. Therefore, friends, if you see that some animal needs your help, do not pass by. Save the animals, take care of it, and appreciate their life. And maybe, watching this video, you will understand that you do not have to be God to save someone's life. Help the animals and be happy. Give your thumbs up if you like this video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.